Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Samantha. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really excited to have you here because today we have an exciting DIY. Today we're going to be making pumpkin seed oil. So there are different ways to make this, and I know a lot of people prefer to use the cold press method where they grind the seeds, then mash them up with a little bit of water and then squeeze like crazy. But that's too complicated and I want a simpler way, and this is it. So we're going to need some pumpkin seeds. I picked these up out of Lidl, but I'm sure you can find them in any other food shops, health shops. They'll be widely available. You could also buy them online if you can't find them elsewhere. And if you actually have seeds straight out of a pumpkin, what you need to do is dry them first, sun dry them, and then crack them, so shell them so that you get the green seed that's inside that hard pale yellow shell. So pumpkin seeds, honestly, I'm just blown away by how beneficial the pumpkin seed oil is for the hair. So in 2014, a study was conducted on men at the time who had male pattern balding, and pumpkin seed was actually shown to cause hair to grow back. And since then, lots of men and women have reported amazing results when they used pumpkin seed oil to treat things like hair thinning and hair loss, baldness for so many reasons. And what's in the seeds is quite a lot of oil, and it's that oil which we need. And within that oil are chemicals called phytosterols, which actually block the enzymes and hormones responsible for hair loss. So they basically act as DHT blockers, and they work in exactly the same way as something called saw palmetto, which some of you may already be aware of. So we're also going to need an oil, and I'm using sunflower oil here because I find it's a really good oil when you're trying to get things out of herbs and seeds and all those things, because it's very penetrating and it's very light. But you can use something like olive oil or jojoba oil, any oil of your choice. Even almond oil will be okay. And then we're going to need a blender, and we're also going to need a pan. So first of all, what we're going to do is grind the seeds, and I'm just taking a quarter cup of seeds here because I'm not making a huge amount. So take a quarter cup of the seeds, put them in my blender, and then I'm just going to grind them into a powder. So it doesn't have to be very fine, just blend them for about a minute or two. What this is actually going to do is help to release that oil which is in the seeds, so that the sunflower oil is better able to penetrate the seeds and extract that oil from the pumpkin seeds. So next we're going to toast the pumpkin seed flour, which we've just made, and there are a couple of reasons why we want to do that. First of all, when you warm up this flour, it's going to help it to absorb the sunflower oil much better, whether it's sunflower oil or olive oil, whichever oil you're working with. So once that the flour has absorbed the sunflower oil will then be better able to extract the pumpkin seed oil. The second reason is that there will be a little bit of moisture in the pumpkin seed flour first. So we do want to toast it so that we try and get it as dry as possible. That will help us to actually prolong the shelf life of our oil, because if there's moisture in there, it's not going to last for very long. So you'll notice that it's a little bit green to begin with, and that's because of the color of the pumpkin seed, the outside. But as you're toasting it, you'll see that it starts to change color and it becomes this light brown or beige color. So you do need to keep stirring, because there's pumpkin seed oil in there. It may easily stick to the bottom of the pan. So you want to make sure that you're stirring continuously and you're toasting it. So turning it over as I'm demonstrating in the video. So once the pumpkin seed flour has started to change color and it's looking like a nice beige or golden brown color, it's time to add the oil. And I'm only adding half a cup of oil into the pan. So adding it straight into the pan, and then we're going to mix this, basically stirring it. And you do need to keep an eye on this, because otherwise you might burn it, because it does burn quite quickly if you're not careful. So keep stirring, and you'll notice that the color will change from this greenish color, olive green color, to a brown color. And what that shows is that, the moisture is basically evaporated, and it may froth up a little bit while there's still a little bit of moisture in there. But as the moisture evaporates, you'll notice that the froth will disappear. So please do not leave this unattended, because otherwise you'll burn it, and it'll be a complete waste of your time and effort. Okay, so this is the color you're aiming for, and once you see it turn that color, take it off the hob immediately and put it aside, so that it won't overheat. So it will start to cool down, and as it's cooling down, it's going to release the oil from the solid matter into the sunflower oil, and we are already getting our pumpkin seed oil. You'll notice that the oil looks this golden color, and it's actually been called liquid gold because of that color, but also because of the amazing benefits. So we're not done yet. Once it has cooled down, then we want to put it aside and cover it, and then just put it away in a dark cupboard somewhere for about a week. That is what's going to allow us to get all of the pumpkin seed oil out of those seeds, because we want a good thorough infusion. If you squeeze it out at this point in time, you're not going to get all of it, so it's not going to be that effective. So you do want to leave it to basically marinate for about a week, and then we'll move on to the next stage. So this is what it looks like after allowing it to infuse over a week. And what's happened in that week is that, all that solid matter absorbed the sunflower oil, and then all that good infusion happened. And now most of the oil has actually left the pumpkin seed flour, or the solid matter. So now we're going to strain it, and I'm going to show you, the best way to deal with this thing, because otherwise you're going to be squeezing a whole bag of oil, which I think can be quite wasteful, and it just gets messy unnecessarily. So I've put my little strainer over the jar that I'm going to store this in, and I'm just going to secure it with a rubber band, and then pour that mixture into my strainer. And then I'm just going to use the spoon just to help it basically start to strain. And you might need to do it bit by bit, because that will fill up. But obviously, as the oil is strained into the jar, then the solid matter will go down. So just keep watching what I'm doing, and then I'll show you towards the end, how things are going. So as you saw, most of the oil had actually drained into the jar, but there's still some oil in there, as you can see. So what we're going to do is just set that aside, just leave it for about 10-15 minutes so that it, gravity does the job for us, and most of that oil will drain into the jar. And then towards the end, then we can squeeze it. So as you can see, most of the oil is actually drained, but we're going to squeeze now, just so we can get as much of this oil, because it's so precious, it's so beautiful, so we don't want to waste any. So this is what it looks like once you've strained it. So it does look a little bit thick, and that's really because there's still a bit of sediment mixed in with that. But it's not going to stay like that. What you do is just let it sit, and the sediment will settle at the bottom of the jar, and then your clear oil will be at the top. So there we go. As you can see, the sediment is right there at the bottom, but the pumpkin seed oil is at the top, and that's what we're going to be using. So you don't actually need to drain this. All you do is when you need some, you just decant the oil at the top, and then you leave the rest in the jar. And it's actually better that way, because then over time that oil will become even more potent. So as you can see, the oil at the top is beautiful and clear, and with absolutely no sediment. So in terms of storage, this can be kept in a cool, dark place for up to about a month, even 2 months, it'll be good. But if you live in a really hot climate, then it may be better to keep it in the fridge. It may solidify a little bit, but that's okay. And then if you want the shelf life to be longer, for even up to a year or so, then it's best to add a preservative. Because remember, we did use fresh seeds, so we don't want it to go off and cause any harm. So the different ways to use it is very versatile. You can use it as a hot oil treatment. So you shampoo your hair first, and then do the hot oil treatment, and then condition. Or you can actually just apply it to your scalp as a scalp emollient, or use it for scalp massages. You can add it to your deep conditioners or hair masks, or you can mix it with other oils to create your own hair growth oil. And some people actually just take a teaspoon of this every single day by mouth. So as you can see, it's very versatile and really useful. So personally, I'm going to be applying this and using it as a scalp oil, and also for scalp massages. So I'm not going to wash it out, but I will also use it as a hot oil treatment from time to time, and I'll see how it goes. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you found it useful and that you do get to try it. And if you do come back and let me know. Before I go, I'd like to give my subscribers a massive thank you, and thank you also to everybody who engages. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, and I'd also really appreciate it if you give the video a thumbs up. And if you want to know when I have a new video on the channel, all you need to do is sign up for notification by clicking the little bell icon. So until next time, take care, my lovelies, and take care of your loved ones. Bye for now.